with our families, with this council, this city, Father. And Father, we just ask that you just let the Holy Spirit lead us tonight. Let the Holy Spirit guide us tonight through this meeting and give us and provide us with what we need to do to get things settled. That we will respect each other, we will be cordial with each other, and we will be in a manner that is pleasing to you. And Father, we just thank you for your Son. Thank you for the Holy Spirit. And we just pray this prayer tonight in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. We've got a good crowd here tonight, and it's good to see everyone. Call this meeting to order, and it says welcome the public and make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, as you came in, you saw this. I got called down a few months back when I said we've got an app. We have an app. It's live. It will be the easiest way to make contact with our city departments, and then it will also connect you to our Facebook page, our website. So, yeah, we finally hit the 21st century. So, download the app. We've got a fan. Thank you, Mr. McGee.
Big fan.
Thank you, Heather.
And Heather has put a lot of time. This thing didn't come easy, and it was a labor of love for her, if I'm going to say it that way, but she's the one that broke sweat on it.
Never claimed to be a technical genius.
She has a couple of comments to make.
I just wanted to let everyone know it is still a little bit of a work in progress. I still have several things I'd like to do to make it better. But if you do have any suggestions or comments, or if there's something that you think that you would like to see different, please give me a call, 870-881-4877 or 870-814-9179. And like I said, we will be adding more to it as we go, but right now we at least have it out there for you, and hopefully it'll be of a help in some way.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. McVeigh. If you would, call the roll.
David Hurst.
Here.
Frank Cash.
Present.
Vance Williamson.
Here.
Judy Ward. Here. Willie McGee.
Present.
Roy Bullitt.
Here.
Buddy McAdams.
Here.
And Diane Hammond. Here.
Okay. Approval of the minutes, the August 8th meeting. I think everybody was provided a copy of those minutes. Take a look.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion second. Any comment? If not, Ms. McVeigh.
Diane Hammond. Aye. Judy Ward. Aye. Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Roy Bullitt.
Aye.
Frank Cash.
Aye.
Willie McGee.
Aye.
And David Hurst.
Okay, first item on the unfinished business. We have the wastewater treatment bond. Mr. Russell's here to answer any questions we might have. We just finished a 30-minute meeting in an attempt to answer any questions we might have. Now, this is a rather lengthy, and when I say rather lengthy,
If he wishes to read it, that's no problem.
now, we can, with a 2/3 vote, suspend the rules and go by title only, and if we and I think Mr. Russell has a few high points he'd like to hit with that. So, council, it is up to you.
Has the city attorney read this agreement, sir?
Yes, sir.
And you're good to go with it?
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to know.
I think that's good to have man, we appreciate you.
Is there anything you need to add to your comments?
No, I mean, in the bond issue, the prepayment day is sometimes an important day to know. It's with the state, it's always 10 years. You can't prepay. Of course, why would you prepay at 2 1/4 rate? But if that is in the ordinance, that's probably the only what I call material thing that I had not covered previously. So.
Okay.
Motion that we suspend the rules and read by title only?
I second that.
Madam Clerk?
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Willie McGee.
Aye.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
Judy Ward. Diane Hammond. Frank Hash.
Aye.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
And David Hurst.
An ordinance authorizing the construction of extensions, betterments, and improvements to the sewer facilities of the city of El Dorado, Arkansas, authorizing the issuance of a water and sewer revenue bond for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of construction, providing for the payment of the principal and interest on the bond, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
I move that we put this reading on title only by second reading. Second.
We have a motion second. Madam Clerk.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
David Hurst.
Aye.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
Diane Hammond.
Aye.
Judy Ward.
Aye.
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Frank Hash.
Aye.
And Willie McGee.
Aye.
Okay.
An ordinance authorizing the construction of extensions, betterments, and improvements to the sewer facilities of the city of El Dorado, Arkansas, authorizing the issuance of a water and sewer revenue bond for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of construction, providing for the payment of the principal of and interest on the bond, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
I make a motion we suspend the rules and put it on third reading by title only.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
David Hurst. Willie McGee.
Aye.
Judy Ward.
Aye.
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
Diane Hammond.
Aye.
And Frank Hash.
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the construction of extensions, betterments, and improvements to the sewer facilities of the city of El Dorado, Arkansas, authorizing the issuance of a water and sewer revenue bond for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of construction, providing for the payment of the principal of and interest on the bond, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
I move for final passage. Second.
Madam Clerk.
Willie McGee.
Aye.
Judy Ward.
Aye.
David Hurst. Diane Hammond.
Aye.
Frank Hash.
Aye.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
And Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we need an emergency clause.
It is written into the ordinance.
And we need a
We
separate
usually vote on
vote.
that.
You need to do that, though?
You have to vote on the emergency clause.
You do have to vote on the emergency clause.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion second. Ms. McVeigh.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
David Hurst.
Aye.
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Willie McGee.
Aye.
Judy Ward. Roy Bullock.
Aye.
Frank Hash.
Aye.
And Diane Hammond.
Okay, Mr. Russell, I think we got that one wrapped up. We will get signed copies to you. Oh, you got signed copies to me.
Thank you, sir. Have a safe trip
Yeah,
home.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. I think we got a couple of folks that have taken care of their business of the day. I appreciate all they've done, and as always, Mr. Russell, thank you for all your service. Okay, moving on. We have the next thing on our agenda on unfinished business is the billboard ordinance. We are down to the final read.
And ordinance, amending ordinance number 1777.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, Ms. McVeigh.
David Hurst. Willie McGee.
Aye.
Frank Hash.
Aye.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
Vance Williamson.
Aye.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
Judy Ward.
Aye.
And Diane Hammond.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on. We have the sports complex up for the second read. We have a motion to do it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Ms.
Frank,
McVeigh.
Frank Hash.
Aye.
Willie McGee.
Aye.
Judy Ward.
Aye.
Diane Hammond.
Aye.
Buddy McAdams.
Aye.
David Hurst.
Aye.
Roy Bullock.
Aye.
And Vance Williamson.
Aye.
An ordinance replacing ordinance 1894 dated January 24th, 2022, authorizing the City of El Dorado to enter into an agreement with Union County to jointly operate the El Dorado Union County Recreation Complex and establish a joint complex commission.
Okay.
I want to make a motion to suspend the rules and put it on third reading by title only.
Was that David?
Yes, ma'am.
Vance Williamson?
No.
Willie McGee?
No.
Judy Ward?
No.
David Hurst?
Aye.
Frank Hash?
Aye.
Roy Bullock?
No.
Buddy McAdams?
Aye.
And Diane Hammond?
Okay. We'll have a final read at our next council meeting. Okay.
We've been messing with this thing for a long time, Mayor. Judge Lofton's here tonight. We ought to drive a peg in this thing. I don't know what the deal is that we can't get it done. What kind of deal are you trying to make that's holding up the deal? You mentioned last time you was working on a deal.
And I haven't got one that I can sign off on yet. That's
What kind of deal would go along that would keep us from getting this thing on the table where these people can get to work? The Quorum Court has been more than patient with us about getting this simple thing done.
I don't see it as a simple thing, and I've got a 4-4 split here. Okay? We're moving on. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is a resolution. When we authorized the Greenway project at our last meeting, we failed to do one thing, and that was to exercise a resolution to hire Crafton and Tull as an engineering firm to work on this. So we have that resolution, and are you ready to read it, sir?
Sure. A resolution waiving the requirements of competitive requests for qualifications and to approve Crofton Tull and Associates for the El Dorado Raise Grant Development Project. Whereas, from time to time, it is necessary in the best interest of the City of El Dorado to waive the requirements of competitive requests for qualifications. And whereas Crofton Tull and Associates, Inc. is currently providing architectural and engineering services for the Hillsborough Gateway Corridor Improvements Project and has previously provided services in developing the El Dorado Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan, and whereas it will be cost-effective and save critical time to amend the current engagement contract with Crafton Tull and Associates, Inc. to include conducting the necessary information gathering, planning, public engagement, and engineering plans to complete a raised grant application for the City of El Dorado Greenway Project 2024. And whereas it is found that there are extenuating circumstances and that an emergency exists due to the time limitations to submit the grant application, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of El Dorado, Arkansas, that the requirements of competitive requests for qualifications are hereby waived as to the amendment to the current contract with Crafton Tull and Associates, Inc. to include conducting the necessary information gathering, planning, public engagement, and engineering plans to complete a raised grant application for the El Dorado Greenway Project 2024. The mayor is hereby authorized to enter into the attached amendment, additional services, and to execute all necessary documents.
I move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
I have some, please. This agreement has quite a bit of administrative burden. I suppose it falls on Mr. Edmonds. Support all this stuff. Have we done this before? You prepared to provide all that? There's a lot of it in there. Okay.
Anything else?
That'll do it.
Madam Clerk.
Diane Hammond?
Aye.
Buddy McAdams?
Aye.
Roy Bullock? Willie McGee? Judy Ward?
Aye.
Vance Williamson?
Aye.
Frank Hash?
Aye.
And David Hurst.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, we've got a little new business. I've got some familiar faces in the house. New company coming to town. I had the opportunity to visit with these folks yesterday and previously when they presented their project to the Chamber of Commerce. All I need to know is which one of you is going to do the talking. You're going to take turns, if you would. Lapis is a carbon recovery company. Don't ask me all about that. That's why we've got some handouts for the council. What they're doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is they're introducing themselves to the council and to the community. So, and I'm going to let y'all introduce. Let me ask you.
Start with just real quick who we are. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Berry. I'm the head of external affairs at Lapis Energy. And Ms. McVeigh and I decided we thought about doing a presentation out here and decided not to test our IT skills. So I apologize. This is not on screen.
Oh, this is more personal, ain't it? Right.
My colleagues are here, so if anything needs to go.
I'm the head geologist for the project. I'm Kevin Wigwam, I'm the Vice President of Operations. So basically, Stein does the underground stuff, and I do the above ground.
I do people stuff.
Yeah, Lauren keeps us both on.
Lauren, if whoever's speaking, if they want to, they can address the council, they can address the community, but we do need to get it on the microphone.
All right, so I'll start here. So again, we're from Lapis Energy, and our partners at LSB are also here. And so I'll let the guys talk more about the project, but just as Mr. Mayor said, we're here just to, we've met many of you a few times, so I apologize if you've heard this presentation 2 or 3 times already, but wanted to make sure we've covered everybody. But we're a company based in Dallas, and a carbon capture sequestration company. The team and I have worked together for many years, though, in the oil and gas industry, and the founders got together and formed this company a few years ago to take all of those geological skills in oil and gas and apply them to this new industry. So we're going to take you through some slides. We'll try to not be too boring and too technical, but we think it's important that everyone really understand what it is that we're doing. LSB has been in town for a very long time, and hopefully for another 100 years, as Howard said yesterday. And so what we're really here to do as a company is to make sure that LSB can continue to do the good work they've been doing, but also trying to make sure that they can continue to diversify their products and be more competitive in the global marketplace. So we're going to talk today a little bit about CCS. I'm going to turn it to Kevin first to talk about what is carbon capture sequestration.
Just to keep it simple, it's this slide in the back. CCS is a pretty simple concept. We take CO2 from a process that LSB does to make ammonia. We take it, we clean it up, we compress it, we pressurize it. We put it into a well and put it down into a reservoir down 5,000 to 7,000 feet below the surface of the ground. And you never see it again. It's easy to say it that quickly. Not exactly that simple because it involves compressing gas, it involves refrigerating CO2 and making it a liquid. It involves pumping it into a well, it involves drilling a well, and involves a storage down in the reservoir. We've done quite a bit of work, and Stein's going to talk about the subsurface, which is where the critical part of the concept lies. So it's almost reverse oil and gas. Instead of taking something out of the ground, we're putting it back in where oil and gas was. I think that's really the basic concept. We can have an engineering debate on the entire project, but it's probably not enough time to do that. So just if you have questions, we can talk about it afterwards. Yes, sir.
We are an area that's been looked at for fracking.
Yes.
And I think there's even a couple of wells. I have to ask Mr. Reynolds to deal in on the thing. But
yes.
Would this preclude future fracking of the reservoir areas or anything of that nature?
That's your area.
Still frack the reservoirs, maybe not right where we inject underneath LSD, but in other areas surrounding LSD, if they want to, they can still frack, yes.
Mr. Reynolds, you're our resident geologist. You seen problems here that
Yes, sir, and actually I have what you would call inside knowledge. 27 years ago, my company drilled a well on the plant side of it, what we then called El Dorado Chemical Company. In looking for oil and gas, we drilled down to the oldest known formation to produce oil and gas in South Arkansas, that being the Smacko Formation. We made what we call in our industry a dry hole. We found no oil and gas in the Smacko Formation or any formation above it. So effectively what we did was condemn the LSB property for the future production of oil and gas. And that when this project came up, I immediately pulled out our well records and found it would be a good place to inject carbon dioxide. And so there would be no hampering of oil and gas production. And with regard to fracking, yes, we've certainly been mentioned about fracking, but I'll tell you something. Union County, Arkansas, we fracked more than 1,000 wells beginning in 1950. The fracking is no new deal found here. The bulk of them that were fracked are south of the town of El Dorado, behind what's now the Arkansas Welcome Center, and the others were down at Sandy Bend oil field near Urbana. We also did fracking at the London field in the eastern part of Union County.
Well,
yes.
When y'all gave this same presentation over to the county, one of the main things that I got out of it when you were giving the presentation, that this wasn't going to affect our drinking water. That's what a lot of people have been concerned about. When we talked after the meeting, you made it really, for me to understand it, I thought it was really good, if I understand it, that it wasn't going to affect in our drinking water, that we actually, some of the wells might be close by in proximity to. Could you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes, so we intend to inject the CO2 in the same layers where elsewhere surrounding the town sits the oil and gas, and that's probably it's deeper than the Empire State Building below the drinking water, and the oil and gas has been in those layers for millions and millions of years without polluting the drinking water. So it is proven that the layer above it will very effectively seal the CO2 in those very deep pockets underneath the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I can understand that, that's what I'm saying, because we have a spotter that...
Yes, sir. That's something I have to know a little bit about.
Yes, sir.
And in Union County, since 1921, there have been more than 10,000 wells drilled. 10,000 oil and gas wells. Every single one of them drilled straight through the Florida Formation. And from my work on Union County Water Conservation Board, we periodically test the water in this part of Iowa. We've never found one hydrocarbon molecule. So I consider that this is a reasonable, safe, sound, well thought out, and well designed proposal.
Yeah.
In that presentation, in fact, there's a schematic of the wells that we're going to drill. We can talk about it in a second, but we'll compare what a schematic of a normal oil and gas well looks like versus the schematic of a CCS well, and you'll see the difference in the schematic, which is primarily aimed at making sure nothing gets out where it shouldn't get out.
Right.
The other thing to address your question, Mr. Hatch, the area of concentration that we're going to be injecting CO2 never leaves the area of the LSB plant. So it's not like we're spreading CO2 all over the place. It's a very narrow column of CO2.
Where are you capturing CO? Excuse me. Where are you capturing the CO2 from? Various plants?
LSB's plant only.
Okay. And what is the reason for that? Is the government requiring you to get rid of or capture that CO2?
The main LSD can answer on our behalf, but I think the main reason is it makes their product more attractive commercially.
Yeah, really. Howard Stevens, General Manager at LSB. Basically, we make ammonia from natural gas. One of the emissions into the air is CO2.
Okay.
Part of that CO2 is sent to a dry ice plant next door owned by Capital Carbonic.
Right.
Okay, so we can make dry ice, but you can only make so much dry ice out of the CO2. What we are looking to do with Lapis is inject part of that CO2 that's now going into the air, into the ground. It makes blue ammonia in the terms of environmental friendliness, okay? Because greenhouse gases, right? So we're helping to the environment by not putting that CO2 into the air. Now it goes into a more safe environment, okay? And then downstream products become blue products, if you will. We want to call it that. So all of our nitric acid, our ammonium nitrate becomes a product that others will want to buy. In fact, we have customers that are waiting for this project to be able to sign contracts and such, because then they can market their materials as environmentally friendly. So it helps our economy. It helps all those environmental issues that we would like to help resolve. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay, thank you.
I was just curious about the amount of pressure that it takes to pump that CO2 in the ground.
Yeah, at the surface, we will be injecting anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 psi. But the pressure at which the CO2 will be stored in the reservoirs is actually way less than the pressures that Robert was explaining are used to frack the reservoir. And because we are not allowed with these operations to frack the reservoir at all, we need to stay well below those pressures. And then also concerns were raised by some residents, and actually also Langston approached us to discuss what the potential impacts were of our operation on the lithium and bromine production. We are not using the deeper Smackover formation where the bromine and the lithium is coming from, so there won't be any interactions with those operations, and any potential bromine or lithium could at some point still be taken out of those reservoirs.
I'm looking at this from an economic development side, but about how many employees is it going to take to man this operation?
To man once we get it in operation?
Yes.
It's not very many. It's maybe 10 or 12 to run
So,
the operation. We haven't fully baked in the operations plan, but it's a pretty simple plant to run. It's basically a compressor.
yeah.
It's not huge, but I think to sort of extend your question, the bigger impact is when we're constructing it. That's what I've told people.
My background is in insurance and it's petrochem, so I'm very familiar with injection wells. And I'm just going to make a comment right off the cuff. If Mr. Reynolds is good with it, I have absolutely no reason not to be.
Well, it's funny. We've been talking to Mr. Reynolds since we started this.
When he speaks, I listen.
Slide 4 is a really simplified picture of how we're getting the CO2 from LSB, unless you want to get into the process side of things. One of the byproducts of producing ammonia from natural gas is CO2. We're capturing it, cleaning it, compressing it, putting it in the ground. This next slide 5 is sort of a detailed picture of where things are going to be in the plant. You see a picture of the Dorado chemical plant there. The blue line that goes sort of southeast is the pipeline. It's going to take the CO2 from one side of the plant to the well, which is on the other side of the plant. Sorry. We've got plenty here. Yeah, we've got plenty. Well, I say we have plenty. We don't have one for everybody. The pipeline is about, the pipeline is about 1,400 feet long. It actually is going to traverse from one side of the chemical plant to the other side. We're going to drill the pipeline under the plant. So again, it's providing a bit more protection for everyone because the CO2 will, if there's, some kind of a rupture of the pipe or an incident with the pipe, it'll be buried so deep the impact at the surface will be not nil, but very small.
It'll be Judge Lofton's responsibility anyway, 'cause it's not on city property. And Stein's going to talk a little bit about the monitoring program, because a key part of this is not just putting it in the ground, but monitoring it to make sure we know where the CO2 is and where it's not, more importantly.
So on the same picture of the LSB property, you see the blue dots. There are 3 existing LSB Sparta wells, also 2 existing, and then 3 new ones we will drill. And then every 6 months we will take water samples and see if there is any CO2 from our injection actually going into the Sparta reservoir. We will also drill a very deep well, that is the yellow dot. That is in exactly the same location where Mr. Reynolds drilled his dry hole. And there we will be able to monitor the reservoir pressures. So we will be able to monitor the pressures underground whilst we are injecting. We can also take samples there. And then we have an orange dot, which is next to 2 green dots, which will be the wells in which we put the CO2. At that spot on the property, the pressures will be highest. So if there is a leak in the underground, it will mostly likely happen in that spot. And then we will also be sampling right above, but still very deep, around 3,000 feet deep in the ground, the water, to see, to continuously check for initial signs of leakage. If we don't expect any leakage, as we've already indicated, but if it happens, we shut down, we alleviate the pressure, and at that point the CO2 will stop moving in the underground.
This is CO2, not carbon monoxide. So unless you had your lips right on the pipe, it wouldn't hurt you anyway, right? Yeah. It's not lethal.
So essentially, if there is a leak, it's no different than it been bleeding off from production.
Right.
Okay.
There's no flare system or anything like that.
Nothing to burn. Nothing to burn.
And then we've already been out to the LSB property, walked the whole property, and then we've identified 30 different spots where we will put geophones, and you can compare those to cameras which can look underground, and we will use those to also determine how the CO2 is moving underground and how big the bubble of CO2 will become. And another benefit of that system, again, we don't expect any earthquakes, but we can measure earthquakes as well with that system. But in this area, a lot of injection is also taking place for Lancet, where you take out the water for the bromine, re-inject it, same volumes or even higher than we want to inject, and nothing ever happens in terms of earthquakes.
And I'm sure y'all have already been permitted.
Permitting, not yet.
We have submitted the permit. We've actually already had 2 big rounds of questions from the EPA. We've already responded to those questions, and I suspect they might now come back with a few more questions, but we are already more than halfway through the permitting process. And we haven't encountered major obstacles or pushback from the EPA so far.
So what is your time frame?
Earliest approval, EPA is still indicating May next year for us to start drilling those wells. Then it takes all the year before we can start injecting. But the EPA moves slow, so I suspect there'll probably be a few more longer. But they are heavily understaffed.
Right.
So you're looking at about 2 years out to be
26, sometime in 26.
Will this project provide potential employment for local residents?
Yes.
It's about 10.
You know,
10.
it's not a large staff.
10.
sounds maybe like about dozen plus jobs.
Yeah, something like that. We have it fully baked in the operations plans. We're still 2 years away, but somewhere around 10 or 12.
And like you said, the construction side of this is going to create quite a bit of revenue for the community.
And then it's also the indirect employment by making the LSD operations more viable for longer.
Operational lifespan for something like this? Undetermined, indefinite, what?
Our planning forecast is 20 years.
20 years. Okay. Anything else for us?
We appreciate the...
I think Lauren's got something for us. She's up and smiling.
Well, if you all feel like you have enough technical information for today, because we'll obviously take all of your questions, and you know we are around a fair amount. But I wanted the community to know too that since we don't have all of these for everyone, that my contact information, I wanted to make sure everyone had it, is lberry, L-B-E-R-R-Y, at lapisenergy.com. We're very happy to talk to anybody about any of this, as much as you all are willing and curious.
We can make copies in our office for anybody that would like one.
Thank you. Good. And so part of what we want to do today is just make sure that there's a general understanding of what we're doing, but the other piece of this is also doing a lot. My job is to do community investment, social investment. I had a great meeting this morning with the superintendent of schools. We're talking about how we can work with LSB to do additional kind of activities in the community. He had a lot of great ideas. I think y'all probably have some good ideas. So, again, we're going to be around hopefully for 20 years plus, and just want to make sure that you see our face. And we don't have an office here, LSB well, but that we're here often enough that, we can get your ideas and keep working with you all. So, and appreciate as many of you listening to this presentation as many times as you maybe have. Hopefully it's not too boring.
I imagine we can get your office here, can't we?
Well, indeed, that's part of the conversation is at what point does it make sense
like
to
I said,
have
the first time I saw the presentation, y'all made it very clear, and then afterwards we talked. That's one of the main things I was having people concerned about the drinking water.
Yeah.
And you answered that. I appreciate you answering it again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Does the council have any further questions for these folks?
Thank you.
Lauren, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving right along. I saw Coleman come in the room. Mr. Matthews. I'm very well, sir. For those of you who do not know, this is Coleman Matthews from New Haven Recovery.
New Haven Counseling and Recovery, yes. I appreciate, Mayor, you making an opportunity for us to be here tonight, honorable council members. I'm Coleman Matthews. I'm the CEO with New Haven Counseling and Health Services here in El Dorado. About 4 years ago, we were South Arkansas Regional Health, and we rebranded to New Haven. We are an agency that has served Union County, Columbia County, Calhoun County, Washita County, Dallas County, and Nevada County for about 60 years for outpatient behavioral health services, for outpatient drug treatment services, and full crisis response services, 24/7. I became CEO approximately 2 years ago, and I developed a vision for expanding and creating a program that's going to do more. And I've worked very closely with the mayor's office and with the judge's office. I have worked with the governor's office and with Secretary Putnam, Christy Putnam with DHS. And I'm very proud to announce that in December, in conjunction with the Sheriff Foundation, we made arrangements to take possession of what was the Life Touch Hospice campus out off Becknall. And we have implemented a 90-day residential drug treatment program in South Arkansas. This is a service that has been desperately needed. Every community, every family has been touched by this epidemic. We have, at this point, hired 25 staff members. These are new jobs here. We are operating at our targeted capacity since the third week of July. We've served 40 individuals in residential at approximately 24 to 26 persons at the time in our facility. As we ramp up to phase 2, we will also hire approximately 20 more staff members, and we can serve 60 individuals in-house for residential drug treatment. We also have outpatient SUD services in the form of intensive outpatient services, IOP. We are implementing partial hospitalization, which is another step in the treatment process. The governor's office and Secretary Putnam's office have recognized the efforts of the partners in this community, and we are cited as an innovative pilot program that they anticipate could be copied across the state as we expand these service parameters. One of the things that I'm very proud of is the number of new jobs that we're going to bring here. We also anticipate generating revenue in this community in the $500,000 to $600,000 per month range for the treatment that we provide. These are dollars that have historically been spent in other states outside of this community. Little Rock, Jonesboro, Fayetteville. These are dollars that will be spent here for what I believe to be world-class treatment. Many individuals from this area who are sent away for treatment don't have the option of involving their family in the recovery and in the treatment process. Any of you who have any exposures to this treatment, you know that the issue is a family. And if families cannot understand the part that they play in the addiction, they can't own the part that they can play in recovery. I, even as CEO of the company, I am one of maybe the only licensed family therapist. I'm a licensed family therapist. I'm very proud to have taken a position and built a family therapy curriculum that will be a part of our issue. We have family psychoeducation weekends, and we will schedule, I gave the green light today to start scheduling family therapy sessions on my schedule for these individuals who are currently in treatment. We anticipate that the traffic that this is going to bring to El Dorado could stimulate a need for more hotels or more restaurants, support service businesses. Another point that I'm very proud of is our efforts to create a scholarship fund. Sadly, many insurance carriers don't cover SUD treatment. Medicaid at this point in time doesn't cover SUD treatment. I do not want a single instance of a person knocking on the door, asking for services, being told, you don't have you don't need. So we have built a scholarship fund that is allowing us now to support fully support approximately 45 individuals for treatment, with partial support for partial coverage insurance. We could help. This fund is supported by local businesses, by private donations and contributions, and it is a godsend for individuals who do not have the financial means to get the treatment that they deserve.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Do y'all actually tap into the opioid money?
Yes, sir. I worked with Attorney General Griffith.
Yeah.
And we received a one-time donation of $750,000 last October, and that has been utilized. A significant portion of that has been put into our scholarship fund.
But you know they got money for insurance. Anybody walk into their facility and they have an addiction, even a dual diagnosis, they have insurance immediately.
Yes, sir.
But also, when I worked at South Arkansas Regional Health, we had an awesome facility here, but we lost our funding and went elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Due to our congressman and state rep, are you close with them?
I am absolutely. Matthew Shepard is he's been in my office multiple times. Mayor Choate has been present multiple times as the chief. The chief has been there as well, but our judge has been there. We have the funding from the AG's office. We are pursuing every avenue. One of the functions that we have that I gain nothing financially for, we employ a care coordinator whose sole job is to help individuals access insurance funds when they don't have insurance funds. Some of those insurance funds don't cover the full cost of treatment. So that's where the scholarship money is. I don't want someone halfway through treatment being told you're done, and they wasted their time and their funds.
Well, have you partnership? You know, Idea Option is right down the street. They having a problem to getting people to come into the facility because of the stigma. Mm-hmm. And one of the things kind of right on the main drive, but seem like if we partnership more here and form more coalitions, mm-hmm. that everybody kind of know what everybody's doing and we can work together. That's one of the things that when I was working for the Regional Health, mm-hmm. you had good partnerships.
Yes, sir.
With juvenile court and other.
Juvenile court has an office in my facility on College Avenue.
And that's a good thing.
Yes, sir, it sure is. And as far as partnering, the MAT clinics that are already in existence here, medically assisted treatment for SUD, we've met with every entity. And my mission is not to take someone's job or do what someone's already doing. That's a waste of our resources and money. So if someone's already doing that, we want to work with you to help you do a job as efficiently as you can, and that lets us be efficient.
But do you know, right now, I'm at the judge and we paying a jail bill that the jail probably got people that need to be in your treatment and in your facilities is out there locked up in the jail right now.
I can speak to that. My most recent conversation with the governor's office and with Secretary of DHS Chris Putnam, we have been given to go ahead and create a crisis stabilization unit in El Dorado. There are 4 others in the state, none south of Louisville. This will be the first facility in South Arkansas. A crisis stabilization its inception is to prevent people who need drug treatment or who have a mental illness from winding up in jail.
Yeah.
Winding up in the emergency.
Yeah.
Because those are not the places for these individuals. This will be a 24/7 facility that will provide crisis screening services and referral services for those individuals who are intoxicated to the point of being a danger to their own physical health. We envision our crisis stabilization unit to have 10 medical detox. No one in this area provides medical detox at that level for those individuals whose intoxication is so high that their life is in danger or stop the drinking from the opioids. Monticello has a limited number of beds. Dumas, the small hospital in Dumas, has a limited number of beds. That's it, from here to Pine Bluff to Texarkana. I believe that those 10 beds will be filled constantly.
I just think people don't realize, if you got a person that's addicted in your family, it affects everybody.
Yes, sir.
Especially if you got traveling back and forth, Little Rock, Texarkana.
Yes, sir.
And we need to be more sympathetic because we got a crisis going on in our community right now.
We do, and the reality, I'm older. I wanted to mirror something you said earlier about making things better for those who come behind us. I'm paraphrasing what you said at the beginning of the last meeting. I'm at the end of my career. You know, I've got a few more years and I'm retired. My vision is this program behind me, so it will impact this community for years and years and years to come. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But we have big plans to bring all of these things to pass. My dream also involves a sober living community where a piece of property would be purchased somewhere outside of town with small modular homes, so that individuals who complete our 90-day program and have no place to go could live for a year contingent upon employment, participation in outpatient supportive services, going to and passing drug tests. They could live there on subsidized rent for a year. I can take any individual and put them into my program for 90 days. They're going to be clean for the leave. But if they have to get access to it, they will not be clean for the moment.
Back to your comments about the CSU, Colin, is I believe Speaker Shepard has obtained a considerable amount of funding to support that project, has he not?
Yes, he has, and we are working closely with Speaker Shepard.
Yeah.
He was able, as Speaker of the House, with his tenure, to acquire a substantial amount of money that will be utilized for the implementation of this program. The state is working to coordinate the implementation of our program with their rollout of a statewide crisis program that they plan to do on right implementation in this. So I can't give you a time, but I have the location. The CSU will be on the campus off Chappaqua. The facility is in place, a few minor renovations, and we can open the doors. I could open the doors next week if I could get the doors. I can get very big.
Well, people don't really understand what a big deal you just said until they got a family member that needs you.
Yes, sir. I would love to see, this is not within any year, any future plans, any very near plans, but I would love for this program to expand and provide juvenile SUD treatment. There is not a juvenile SUD treatment program in Arkansas right now. Children who struggle with addiction are being put in kitchens. And that is not the place for someone with a drug problem. That turns that person with a sickness into a criminal by the time they get out. And it's just a matter of having the appropriate place. And there's a lot more bureaucratic hurdles.
Right. We don't mind paying a jail bill, but we don't want to do no prevention.
Yes, sir.
And kids is being locked up and put back on the street. And that's the problem we have. We don't invest in our kids.
Yes, sir.
And they just wander around, and we just seem to not care. But I hope and I pray that people take advantage of this.
We have had, and I'll wrap up with this. I'll offer anybody the chance to ask questions if you have something. I would love to answer those questions. And I'll leave some cards here to those of you who might like to reach out to us. And I think I brought cards.
Well, you're digging in your pocket. You brought your wingman with you, and most of us know him. But please introduce his position with your facility.
Mr. J.W. Meisenheimer is one of the wisest hires that I have made in the last 6 months. He is the head of marketing and community outreach for us, and he brings something that's well outside my expertise. Is the technical ability to use social media and all of these new gadgets to create a larger footprint for us.
Right.
And he's outstanding. He knows most everyone in this council, in this room, and there's never been an instance where I say, I'd like to speak with, that he can't give me an audience. So that's a good thing.
Well, it's great to have your passion.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been a therapist for about 25 years.
Yeah.
And we have to see beyond the problem to the person.
Right.
And if you treat a problem, you win some, lose some. But if you treat the person, you win everything. You win everything.
Yeah.
And we look forward to being a part of this community and being a part of resolving this problem. When I was a young man, there was addiction, there was drug problems, so forth. It was there, but you didn't hear people die. What we have today is such a more dangerous level of substance with these synthetics, fentanyl, with ketamine. There are young people who think they're buying fentanyl, and they smoke it and they die because it's been dusted with a substance that is so powerful. For those of you who don't know fentanyl, a sweet low package is 1 gram. Everybody's seen them on a restaurant table. That is enough fentanyl to make 1,000 people high or to kill 500. That's all it takes. Getting it on your skin, breathing the dust, ingesting it in marijuana. And there's no backup from that unless there's someone there with with the appropriate medication.
Yeah, Narcan.
Narcan, yes, sir. So, I think I've probably gone over my allotted time, but if you have questions, any of you, I would be more than happy to answer those. In fact, I'll just walk up and over your card while I wait for your questions.
Well, I think, sir, sometimes stuff is more
I'm going to make my comment. Diane asked to put you on the agenda, and having been to your opening out there, having had the opportunity to visit with you several times, you are a godsend. This operation is a godsend to our community.
Yes, it is.
We had nothing. Now we have something that quite possibly is state of the art. Coleman, I can't say it. It has been said, but your passion, your desire to help our community is, we recognize it, and having had somebody very close to me die from an overdose of fentanyl, and having to find a dead young man on the floor, nobody deserves to have that happen in their home.
Absolutely. And there's not a life that has not been touched by this scourge. So,
well, I can help you with.
It's a 21st century plague.
It is. Yes, it is. This card has my contact information for the lodge on one side, for the center on College Avenue on the other. That is my personal cell phone number. Any one of you, anytime, when I say call me, if there's something that we can do for the city, specifically for you personally, do not hesitate to call. That is our job. And if I do not answer, it is because I'm in a meeting. Leave me a message, and I will call you right back. My emergency stop everything code is call me twice, back to back. That's my family's code. I'm telling you. If that's serious, I will step away from the governor to take the call.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Okay, I am at the end of the agenda. Is anything?
I do.
Any of the council members have anything?
I do, Mayor. I see Mr. Hayes and Reverend Hayes. Excuse me, Reverend Hayes. We just had Mr. Hash told Reverend Hayes to bring estimate to the mayor, and we talked about that.
Actually, he sent him to the city attorney.
Did we get everything straight out?
He provided some bills. We had a conversation and asked for a more itemized type listing to bring back to y'all, and I have not received that yet. Is that accurate?
Yeah, can you make that happen, Mr. Reverend Hayes?
I turned some stuff in yesterday. I finally found where the guy that redid the porch and the roof, and so I turned that into your office.
To my office or to mayor's? Okay, I was not aware of that. I'll look for that when I get back.
Well, hey, thank you, Rev. It seems like everything going okay, right?
Well, as far as we're getting the information, and then be up to y'all ultimately.
And nothing like communication.
I would like to say one thing, if I may.
Ask the mayor.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
I would like to say that
it's hard for people to objectively consider you when they have already made their mind up about your situation. I was told, me and the attorney was told, he said that if it was him, I wouldn't get anything.
Who told you that?
The city attorney told me that if it was him, I wouldn't get anything. And I'm wondering, if you don't have all the evidence, you don't, know what I know, why would you make that decision concerning my problem? And I told him, I said, well, you're not in my shoes. You wasn't done like I was done. You wasn't the one that was told something that was not true. I was the one that was told things that was not true. I was deceived. I was deceived. I never got any information from the city, not a word, nothing. And I knew that the city knew that my wife was on the deeds because they mailed my dad-in-law, who's deceased, they mailed his information from the city to my address. Instead of mailing it, putting my wife's name on it, and mailing it to our address. My dad-in-law address is 2728 Forward Street. My address is 416 Georgia Street. And I know if they wanted to give us something, and I heard the last time it was here that they are supposed to give you some kind of notification, something in the mail. And then when you go down there and you ask and you tell them, and they tell you, you don't need to know anything about what was on the information. And then they tell you, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. I took him at his word. I just kept doing what I was doing, and then I brought pictures where I showed that it was a roll roofing on the top of the house. Now it's got shingles. People just don't do that without paying for it. Roll roofing don't turn to shingles, and I was just concerned on why would anybody make a decision on someone else, and they don't know all the facts. At least I'm going to know the facts before I make a decision on you. I'm not going to do that. I think that was very wrong. I think that was bad to base your decision, I guess, on just me. Because you don't have any facts, you just have me and what I say.
Well, I apologize to you personally, Mr. Reverend Hayes, because I was told to tell you to bring your paperwork and your estimate up here, and I think we talked on the phone. You told me you was already.
I have some of my paperwork with me. I have some of my paper. Matter of fact, I have it all in the car. I didn't know it was going to break, but I have it all in the car that I've given to him thus far. I have that. Okay. And for anybody to look at.
Well, we're going to make it right, bro.
Yeah, I have that. I have some back here that I brought with me. I brought some pictures again showing that I did put a new roof on it. The thing that, that bothers me, that really bothers me, is people would deliberately say something to you that's not true. It's not true. If I ask you something, you owe it to me to tell me the truth. If you ask me something, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I tell you it's okay, it's okay. But if I tell you, no, you need to we're gonna tear it down next week, at least you told me the truth. And then it's up to me to do something about it. It's up to me to do something about it. But if I tell you something, I'm gonna stand on it.
The old people used to say your word is your bond. And if your word is no good,
Right.
and I base everything on my word. And so, I do have, anybody, anyone wants to know, I do have everything I sent to the city attorney. I do have that information with me today.
Well, the instructions were, Mr. Hash suggested you get it to the city attorney, let him review it, and then he will come to us. So, Bishop Hayes, let's let the process take place. Okay? Thank you very much.
Well, my word isn't good. And when we talk, just go through the process, and we'll deal with the rest of it at the end of it.
Sounds good.
And that's my word.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to make a comment, too, before we leave.
Pardon?
I'd like to make a comment before we...
Mr. Hash has been raising his hand for the last 5 minutes. Yes, sir.
Both David and I have been contacted by Mr. Stanton regarding late payments and no payments of a contract that he has with the city working on the expo. Do you have any knowledge of why he's not been paid?
I can tell you that every invoice he's presented that's been approved by Public Works has been paid, Mr. Hash.
Well, I don't know. He just says he hasn't been paid.
I just told you we have paid everyone that's been authorized, that's had a PO attached, has been paid.
Okay, so there's none pending down?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, we paid him $182,000 plus so far.
Yeah, we're north of 200,000.
Okay. Where does those payments appear on these monthly?
They've been plugged in it for the last 8-9 months.
Where? We only contracted him in July.
That's not true. This has been going on since last August.
Okay. Where are the payments on these documents here? Can you show me any of them?
You get a check run every month, sir, and they've been on there. We can get, if you prefer, I can get my my accounts payable clerk to print out an entire document that we have paid directly to him and get it to you.
Oh, I know. I've gone back through all these that I have.
Sir, I've told you what I can provide you with.
All right, give it to me.
Tomorrow, she'll be back in the office.
Is it El Dorado Works payments on this document here?
Yes, they are. Everything that's being paid is on the check register.
Okay, well, I'd like to see it.
Well, you're more than welcome to.
All right. Another thing is, so far, what we paid for indicates that we're going to have north of $12 million in this project.
There's not been a bid rendered at this point in time, so I can't tell you.
Professional estimates so far say it's considerably more than the $3 million that we originally thought we were buying. I think it's time to go back to the drawing board and find out just exactly what this city can afford.
Come on.
That's where we're at now. We suspended the bids. I suspended the bids back the first week of August. There was a lot of unanswered questions that the contractors had, and we didn't. Our at the time, the team could not answer that.
Well, we've dumped all this on you to come up with all this stuff. I'm just saying, I think we need to look at what we need.
I think we're to the point. I made some changes. I think we're at a point that we're going to have to scale the project back down, and we're going to have to get it within the monies that we had talked about.
Is Mr. Stanton still on this project? Or?
I can't make any comments about that. I understand he's retained legal counsel, so we'll be doing the same, but I can't make any comments about that.
Yeah, you just said something that's critically important. To see if we're in the zone of what we've already allocated for, is that correct?
The night that we got approval from El Dorado Works, it was known that the wishes of that group were more than the $3.7 million. I couldn't answer that night what an additional stable would cost, an additional seating would cost. So it was the thought to put the package together, put it out for bid, and then we would know what we were spending. There's been a lot transpired since then. I think that was, I don't even remember when they approved the money, but there's been a lot transpired since then, and the thing is gotten way outside of.
But that's my point. Mm-hmm. We need to give you something to work with, not just shotgun it out there.
Well, I think if with some changes in staffing, we will be probably January have a better idea of what that's going to cost.
Is it way outside that $3 million, 3.7?
Yeah, I think we're going to be north of that. Sure.
That's why I'm saying.
But
I think
there again, the way that there was going to be 3 alternate bids. There was a base bid and 3 alternate bids, and that the way that it was assembled was a little confusing to people. So basically, it would have been your base bid would have been the expo center, the concession stand, the bathrooms, and then there was an alternate bid that included the stables, additional seatings, and there was an alternate bid number 2 that included more RV parking.
Just kind of snowballed a little bit, huh?
Well, yeah.
By the millions, it snowballed. And I'm just saying we ought to give you something reasonable to work with, not just get bigger and bigger.
But it's a lot easier, or historically it's been a lot easier in the past to get money out of El Dorado Works if you go with them with some solid numbers on what A, B, and C is going to cost.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where we are on the expo.
So there's been no bids put out at all?
Yes, we advertised for bid, and we had to continue to move that bid date because of unanswerable questions, apparently. So I suspended the bids I think it was the first week of August, so we could make some adjustments to the documents.
We've let Mr. Stanton go.
I cannot talk about Mr.
I'm talking about that.
Okay, well, you can say whatever.
Yeah, I can say whatever.
Okay.
My problem is when we let Mr. Stanton go, we will eventually have $274,000 wrapped up in it, and apparently we can't use anything that he's...
Well, that's not necessarily true either, because a lot of that work was not architectural work. A lot of it was geotech work, and civil work, MEC work. So we paid for those documents through those other vendors.
Well, okay, I'm just saying, is there no way we can recover any of that money in usable stuff?
No, sir, I don't think so.
So that's down the tube?
The way things stand right now, yes.
Okay. I think we need to relook this, folks.
Well, we really appreciate you, Robert. Man, you the man.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping I'm helping you get this thing back into a workable group here, because it seems like it has splintered all the hell.
A phone call might have been better.
Yeah.
I didn't call Mr. Stanton. He's the one that called us along with his attorney. We didn't go out looking for...
I understand that. I can't make any comments.
I understand that, but we owe you some kind of workable plan.
I don't know anything about any of this.
Keeps just going on and on and on. You don't know where to stop.
You're the only happy guy in the room then. Okay. Anything else to come before this body?
Yes. I think this man...
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, I just want to make a comment, and let everybody know the way I voted on the complex out there and why I voted that way, because I've been in contact with the current board that we have now, and I've been in contact with Ms. Greer, and the reason I've been in contact with all them is because that Union County complex out there is probably the most used facility that we have, and it's going to the right people, our youth in this town, and adults in our churches. So when I reached out to several of the current board members, they were all okay with increasing the board to 9. I talked to Miss Greer. She's the person that we've hired to oversee that out there. She's very excited about getting more people on the board because she said they're kind of at a stalemate right now. The board will be comprised of 5 city people and 4 people that represent the county. And from my understanding, the county is willing to pay up to $100,000 yearly. And the county's also willing to help us lay the asphalt out there on that parking lot that's been needing to be done for years at no cost. We have to buy the asphalt, that's all we got to do. So I'm having a real hard time why this is all drug out over the last 6-8 months. And, you know, we really can't meet together to talk about it. And now we've got the county judge here. It's a perfect time. If any of y'all have any questions, it's the perfect time to ask.
I don't have no question, but I talked to Robert Edmonds, who actually our public works director, and everything was going smoothly. He said everything was going, let me finish. He said everything was fuzzy. He liked to keep it like it is. My thing, I'm not out there daily, and I don't get the calls that y'all get, but when the person that been here as long as I've been here, I know when he usually tell me something, I can believe what he tell me. Okay. We ain't never had a, however, and that's why I voted the way I voted. And remember, we discussed this. Did not discuss it with Ms. Ward. I discussed it. I wanted to know myself. I talked with Mr. Russian. Everybody seemed to know except the mayor and the judge not communicating. And if he would have said, so I went to Robert, and Robert said it's good. So what can we do? Just go on our feelings. So what are we? It's almost like we tossing a coin here and said, okay, either I'm gonna believe McAdam or I'm gonna believe the man that I call all the time when I got a problem to fix it. Do you see what I'm saying? I can't go. I'm not gonna go against this guy that I know that every time I call with an issue, he fixes it.
So my question is, if the county doesn't pay the $100,000 to the complex, where's the $100,000 going to come from?
Well, maybe they seem like all money ain't good money. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like.
So we're just going to fund that extra $100,000.
That's what. If he say everything is good, and I voted the way I voted, I don't know what we're going to do, whether the judge want to give it. I don't know. That's their decision. But I'm telling you, on the information that I have, I made the decision. My vote was on that. And then nobody can tell me how to vote. Because when I asked the person that I've been working with for 20-some years what he think about it, I'm going to kind of go with him.
The city has been partnered with the county from the get-go.
The way I understand it, they still got county people on the board. I'm just saying, Mr. Edmonds said everything was going smoothly. He said it would be hard. Listen to me. He said it would be hard to get 9 people on the board to make a quorum. He said it's almost hard to get the people 9 to go to quorum. So I'm going to listen to what he said.
Well, I think
and then if it don't work, we can always go back. If we don't want to give the $100, that's him. But man, we just been kicking this thing. Let's move forward. If we make the mistake, we made a mistake and correct it. It was $100,000, but we done wasted millions of dollars before.
So what's another $100,000?
No, man, what's that? I'm just telling you, when the public works director go good, and I'm going to say this again, all money ain't good money.
We have an agreement on the table. We've been
This guy is the man that's out there running it. He said everything is good. So if we blame him for everything else that don't go well, we can blame him for this. But right now, I'm saying that he said it was good.
Get rid of the agreement we got bouncing around. But Judge Lofton and the Court are sitting there wondering what the hell.
And then got the mayor sitting right there. We asked them to get together. And I'm telling you, so since nobody said it, I'm not, he ain't the mayor.
That's why
you ain't the mayor. He's the public works director. He said everything was good.
That's why.
Now, if it don't work, if it's the money, it's Robert Edmonds' fault. Are you good with that, Robert? All right.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Anything else?
I want to make a statement.
Okay.
If everything's good, why would $100,000 make it better? The county has worked with the city for years at the complex, and I see no reason, I don't see anything that the county has done to cause any problems out there. So why would you not accept this agreement? And that's my question.
We have an agreement with them right now.
I know.
That involves $100,000. So why would we change something that's not broke? That was my question several weeks ago.
Are we going to get $100,000 if we don't pass this agreement? According to the quorum court.
I was told you wanted to change the number of board members from 6 to 9. That's according to the city's attorney.
That's correct.
Odd number.
That's correct.
It's better with an odd number. I agree.
I agree.
The quorum court says we'll take 4 members. I was offered 3, and the city takes 6. I didn't accept that. I said, I'll take 4. You can have 5. Fair enough.
So we have majority.
For 4 members for $100,000 a year. What is wrong with that? That's not too much to ask.
It's not a Chinese arithmetic, folks. We should have this thing baked and out of the oven a long time ago. I don't know what this deal-making stuff is going on.
The $100,000 that has been approved by the quorum court, I can pay it, no questions asked. If it has to go over $100,000, it has to go back to the quorum court.
Well, thank you for being here, Judge Lofton, because we have not met your obligation to go to you. So this is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the problem is.
I don't know either.
4 members on the board, we're going to pay $100,000. I don't want to control anything. The quorum court doesn't want to control anything. We just want to pay the money, have the board members, and be done with it.
I personally expect you kingpins to get together within the next 3 or 4 days and get this thing done.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, close it out, Mayor, if you want to.
I just got to, we having a cleanup on September the 28th, 8:30 over at Melhouse Park. Also, we have an Arkansas Justice Conform Coalition to come, a meeting the 28th also at Pastor Irma Jackson Church at 12 o'clock. And it's all free. And it didn't cost nothing.
Okay. Remember the app? I'll take the motion.
Take off your adjourn.
And we are done for the evening.
You've been listening to live coverage of the El Dorado City Council meeting from El Dorado, Arkansas. The City Council meets every second Thursday of each month. That concludes tonight's broadcast. If you missed any of the meeting, you can listen online to the broadcast of the entire meeting tomorrow on accessarkla.com. This has been a service and production of New Walmart Broadcasting. Have a great night, El Dorado. We now return to our regular programming on 1400 AM and 94.3 FM, KELD, El Dorado.